Louis XIV, the Sun King, holds a special place in European history. Known for his grandiose style and absolute power, he became a symbol of the absolute monarchy that characterized the era. His reign was not just long, but transformative, shaping the future of France and Europe in profound ways. His reign, lasting a whopping 72 years and 110 days, is the longest of any European king. This incredible duration allowed him to implement sweeping changes and leave an indelible mark on the world. His time on the throne saw the rise of France as a dominant power, both politically and culturally. From 1643 to 1715, he ruled France with absolute power, making it a major force in Europe. His centralized control over the government and his ambitious foreign policies expanded French influence. The court at Versailles became the epicenter of political power and cultural life, setting trends that were emulated across the continent. He left a huge mark on art, culture, and how countries worked. Under his patronage, the arts flourished. Baroque art, classical music, and ballet reached new heights, and the opulence of his court became legendary. His support for the arts was not just about personal taste, but a strategic move to project power and sophistication. His time as king was full of both amazing things and tough times. While he achieved great successes, his reign was also marked by numerous conflicts and challenges. The wars he waged drained the treasury and caused suffering among his people, yet his ability to maintain control and navigate these difficulties showcased his formidable leadership. He believed kings got their power from God. This belief in the divine right of kings justified his absolute rule and shaped his policies. He saw himself as God's representative on earth, which reinforced his authority and justified his actions, no matter how grand or severe. Louis XIV wanted a lot, and his chase for glory led to many wars and fancy spending. His ambition knew no bounds, and he sought to expand French territory and influence through military might. The lavish lifestyle of his court, with its extravagant banquets and opulent displays of wealth, was both a symbol of his power and a source of financial strain. But he also led a golden age of French culture and left a legacy that still amazes us today. The splendor of Versailles, the flourishing of the arts, and the centralization of state power are all testaments to his enduring impact. Louis XIV's reign was a complex tapestry of triumphs and tribulations, but his influence remains undeniable, continuing to captivate historians and the public alike. Louis XIV was born on September 5th, 1638 at the Château de Saint-Germain-en-Laye. This grand chateau, located just outside of Paris, was a fitting birthplace for a future king. The birth of Louis XIV was a momentous occasion, celebrated with great joy and festivity throughout the kingdom. He was the son of King Louis XIII and Anne of Austria. His parents had a tumultuous marriage, but their union was crucial for the political alliances of the time. Louis XIV was a strong and determined king, while Anne of Austria was known for her beauty and intelligence. Because his parents had been married for 23 years before he was born, people thought it was a miracle. The birth of an heir, after such a long wait, was seen as a divine blessing, and the people of France rejoiced. They called him Louis the God-given. This title reflected the immense hope and expectation placed upon him from birth. As a child, Louis was surrounded by courtiers who praised and honored him, reinforcing his sense of divine right and destiny. When his dad died in 1643, Louis became king at only 4 years old. Despite his young age, the weight of the crown was already upon him. The court and the country looked to him as their future leader. His mom, Anne of Austria, ruled for him with Cardinal Mazarin helping her. Anne was a strong and capable regent, and Mazarin, a skilled diplomat and advisor, played a crucial role in guiding the young king and managing the affairs of the state. These early years were marked by the Fronde, a series of revolts against the monarchy which really affected the young king. The Fronde was a complex and chaotic period filled with political intrigue and social unrest. Witnessing these events firsthand, Louis XIV developed a deep understanding of the challenges of ruling and the importance of maintaining strong, centralized power. The Fronde, a series of uprisings from 1648 to 1653, greatly changed young Louis XIV. The nobles, mad at Mazarin's rules and wanting more power, rebelled against the king. Louis, still a kid, saw how easily power could be lost and how unpredictable the nobles were. These experiences made him not trust the nobles and want total control. The Fronde shaped Louis XIV into the strong and sometimes harsh ruler he became, always working to keep his power and stop future revolts. When Cardinal Mazarin died in 1661, Louis XIV said he would rule without any help. This was the start of his total control and his drive for absolute power. Louis believed God made him king. He took control of everything, putting all the power in his hands. He kept the nobles close at his fancy palace of Versailles so he could watch them. He also took away religious freedom from French Protestants. One of Louis XIV's biggest legacies is the Palace of Versailles. It started as a small hunting lodge, but Louis made it the grandest palace in Europe. It was his home, the government's headquarters, and a fancy cage for the French nobles. The palace, with its amazing gardens, shiny hall of mirrors, and long hallways, showed Louis XIV's total power and how great France was. It was here that Louis XIV held court, met important people from other countries, and controlled every part of French life. Life at Versailles was all about the king. Louis XIV made strict rules that controlled everything people did there. Nobles wanted to be his favorite, doing special things, and trying to get close to him. Everything the king did, from waking up to going to bed, was a big show. Secrets and gossip spread through the palace as nobles fought for power and attention. Louis XIV wanted glory and more land, so he fought a lot of expensive wars. His ambition was to expand French territory and assert dominance over Europe. He believed that a strong military presence was essential for the security and prestige of his nation. He made the French army bigger and wanted to protect France's borders and be the strongest in Europe. Louis XIV invested heavily in his military, transforming it into one of the most formidable forces of the time. His reforms included better training, new tactics, and advanced weaponry. He fought wars like the War of Devolution, the Franco-Dutch War, which were driven by his desire to expand French influence and control over strategic territories. These conflicts were marked by intense battles and significant territorial gains for France, and the War of the Spanish Succession. This war was particularly significant as it involved multiple European powers and had far-reaching consequences for the balance of power in Europe. These wars gave France more land, but they also cost a lot of money and made life hard for regular people. The financial burden of continuous warfare strained the French economy, leading to increased taxes and widespread hardship among the population. Wanting to win wars came at a high price, causing money problems for France in the late 1600s and early 1700s. The economic strain contributed to social unrest and set the stage for future conflicts within the country. Despite the military successes, the long-term impact of Louis XIV's campaigns was a mixed legacy of glory and financial ruin. Louis XIV died in 1715, leaving behind a mixed legacy. He made France a major power in Europe and led a golden age of French culture. But his wars and spending left France in debt and caused problems that led to the French Revolution. His reign had good and bad parts, total power and amazing art, winning wars, and money problems. Louis XIV is still interesting to learn about, and his legacy shows how complicated power can be and how one person can change history. Louis XIV's reign is a super important time in French and European history. His need for power, his fancy palace, and his many wars changed France and the world. He helped French culture grow and made France powerful, but he also caused problems that led to revolution. Louis XIV's legacy is a mix of amazing things and difficult times, and it still fascinates us today, reminding us of the power and contradictions of absolute monarchy.